David's been known to sing when we're traveling. I've heard him sing Rihanna in Amsterdam to three ladies who didn't have an umbrella, but sing I Wish You Had an Umbrella, Ella, Ella, hey.
So what do you want? Just focus the hand? All right.
Yeah, good.
Is that okay?
Doesn't get any better than that, let me tell you that. Everybody gets a glass of scotch before I'm gonna do this. Do this. And do this. Is there anything about David that I didn't ask that you want to talk about?
I don't think you have enough film.
I would like to make one program note. Danny O'Flaherty, who is a great personal friend of David's, was scheduled to be here tonight. Danny was in a very serious automobile accident a couple of weeks ago, and he's still recovering. Unfortunately, he cannot be with us tonight. In a few minutes, we will feature a video that has a song by Danny that's especially important for David. So we wish Danny, of course, a very speedy recovery. We also, as you've been enjoying, we've had Stevens Green here with us tonight, and we'll have more of them after the program is over. Thank you, Stevens Green. Y'all are great. But now, let's get the show on the road. Wow, that's amazing. Now, David, I understand there are two men who were instrumental in bringing you to the United Way. And those two men have a special message for you. So please watch this.
The campaign theme this year is What This Place Needs. And what this place needs is people just like David Fennelly. Congratulations, David, and thanks for all you do. I had the good fortune of meeting David at his home at what we might call a wine and cheese and more wine planning session. Mary Ann and I have a son, Walker, who has significant learning disabilities, and riding therapy has been a very bright spot in Walker's life for now 15 years. But the real moment where I began to see the size of David's heart came as the planning ended and we watched as David invited Walker out to the field so that David could introduce Walker to his horse, Big Bird. This morning we asked Walker if he remembered meeting David, and he said yes. I remember meeting David with Big Bird, and he remembered that moment because David let Walker take the lead rope and walk Big Bird back to the barn. David, thank you for having the head to lead in business, the heart to lead in generosity, and the presence of mind to allow Walker to lead Big Bird back to his stall. You're making a difference in all of the lives of the people you touch, David. We love you, congratulations, and thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dan Casey. I'm a member of the Tocqueville Cabinet with United Way. Over the last 9 years, I've gotten to know David Fennelly, our honoree, and I've gotten to know a man with a heart the size of the city. I think David has been an inspiration to me and to many others. Not only does he give his money to many organizations, but he gives his heart, and he's an inspiration. David, thank you for being part of my life for the last 10 years, and I thank you for United Way.
And thank you to both Dan and Rick for putting those videos together. They're extremely well put. I think everyone is starting to get the understanding of exactly what type of man David Fennelly really is. You know, David, when we do get thank you letters, and we do, one of the phrases we hear so often is, thank you on behalf of the individuals whose lives you touch. As you know, David is a huge supporter of our Club Connect. So we thought it to be important for you, David, and the community to hear directly from individuals that have been directly touched by this type of philanthropic leadership that David has expressed. I'd like to invite Julia Broussard to the stage.
Good evening. I'm Julie Broussard, and I'm the librarian at Schneckenberger Elementary School. Our school was recently the recipient of a tremendous gift. We became a United Way Club Connect school through the generosity of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Merritt. Thank you very much. I know that many other donors that are supporting the program have sponsored schools in our local community, and thank you. Tonight, I would like to offer special thanks to the man who helped get Club Connect started and is leading the program throughout our region, Mr. David Fennelly. I am so thankful to have the opportunity to tell you in person that your philanthropic leadership makes a difference, a huge difference in the lives of the children at Schneckenberger Elementary School. Here are just a few of the things that I've observed, Mr. Fennelly. Every day, I see groups of students actively reading in the Reading Oasis during arrival and dismissal times when they could be passively watching a movie. It's amazing to see. I see third graders reading with kindergarten students in the Oasis, which helps both groups of students with their reading skills, of course, but does so much more. It teaches our students the importance of helping others, a value which you hold so dear, Mr. Fennelly, and is evident in your daily life. I see the professional staff in the Oasis reading to children who need an extra hand or children with special needs. And you are giving our children on-demand access to the magical world of reading anytime, day or night, with the online reading component. Mr. Fennelly, here's something wonderful. Reading has become a reward for our children. Teachers reward their students by letting them go to the Reading Oasis to read. And it unites the older and younger students through the common interest of reading. I hope I've given you some insight into the way your philanthropic leadership has impacted our school and our children. Now, Mr. Fennelly, I know that you support many other programs that transform the lives of children, which is such a blessing. And although these programs may be very different in scope, they have a common thread. They help each child realize his or her full potential. And what could be more amazing than that? As you know, every child's a star.
Each milestone is a victory, every child's a star. Each is born a miracle, just the way they are. And everyone can understand the meaning of a smile. Around the world, a hug means love to every single child. Every child's a miracle and precious in our sight. Each milestone is a victory, every child's a star. Each is born a miracle, just the way they are. And everyone can understand the meaning of a smile. Around the world, a hug means love to every single child.
Each milestone is a victory, every child is a star. Each was born a miracle, just the way they are.
Thank you, Julie. And the music. Boy, I can see why that song is so important to you, David. Now, I want you to sit back and relax. And we're going to hear from some of David's closest friends and business associates.
David Fennelly is quite a unique individual. You know, you meet fantastic people in your lifetime, in your business and personal angles of life, but David Fennelly is somebody who shines on both sides. He is a person who is very special, not just to me, but to anybody who ever meets or works with him or has the pleasure of interacting with him.
He has that way of saying, how are you, my brother?
He's really a fun person. He's very cheerful, he's very garrulous, and he is extremely friendly.
David always is a person that makes you feel very comfortable and confident in yourself when you're communicating with him.
He just has that unique ability to catch your attention and make you feel important and make you feel valued.
David truly shows an interest in what you have to say. He listens well and he absorbs and he gives great input as well.
If David loves you at all, he's going to love you forever.
He understands the importance of everybody feeling like they're meaningful and everybody feeling like they have a part and they have a place and they have an opportunity to shine. I appreciate that he gets it a whole lot more than just giving to it.
He's a guy that when you're around him, you just sense something is different. There's something about him that draws you to him, that draws people to him. He has this aura that just has people very excited to be around him.
If you were to ask someone just that they knew him to encapsulate what he is, it's like, he's a great guy. He's very generous. You can't do it in a word or a simple phrase. It's so incredible.
Yeah, I remember the day that I met David. I was in college, and David was banking at a local bank, and that I was working at, and I also had a friend of mine. And David kind of took a liking to both of us as young college students, and of course David, being the person that he is, always makes everybody feel comfortable, said, hey, why don't we go grab a beer at the Chimes in Baton Rouge?
I think anybody that first meets David understands and kind of feels like all of a sudden you've been fast friends, right? David just has that gift to be able to do that, and it's not something that you can teach in a book or teach at school. It's actually a gift that you're born with.
We met through a friend, a very good friend of his, and Kathy, and she said that probably we would actually have a lot in common, and it's been great ever since.
Alex met him for the first time a couple of years ago, and we were going to a banquet where the winner of a Humana Grant Award was going to be announced. And before the event started, David came over to say hello to us, and Alex got to meet him for the first time. And what did you tell him?
Do you know you're just like Martin Short?
When we met each other, we felt immediately that we understood things, I think. I certainly did, and I think he felt the same way. Of, our paths in life were, we left Ireland for certain reasons, came here and, found opportunity. His has been absolutely phenomenal.
The first time I met David was, of course, through United Way, and it was about a year or so ago. He is particularly interested in children, and our new program, which is called Club Connect, which provides reading circles in public schools for young children, was attractive to David, and he has lent quite a bit of support to that program.
One of our great volunteers and donors said, you need to meet David Fennelly. And so we went to lunch, one afternoon just up the street from our office, and it was the first real interaction meeting with David. And from there, it's just been a fascinating journey.
David Fennelly, when he grew up in Ireland, I wasn't there obviously, but it was a big part of his life. He grew up around horses.
He loves horses since I think since he was very little.
David's passion for horses and polo specifically, I mean, I think a lot of people know about that, and that's exactly what it is. It truly is a passion.
He is one of these rare people that can be incredibly competitive and still have a smile on his face.
The connection between the horses and giving back and David and us together, I think it just happened organically, even though that he's always been having that affinity with horses.
My little granddaughter has a great interest in horses and riding horses, and we were invited to his farm, and he got out there with those children, and it was like his own children.
I think it's very much an escape for him, and he loves it, and he throws himself into polo just as much as he throws himself into philanthropy or business.
Foundation of David's personality clearly came from his mother and father. His mother was very instrumental in making him believe, live, and understand that everybody is important, and it doesn't matter what disability you may have or what upbringing you may have, everybody's just as important and valued as anybody else in this world. He has such a philanthropic heart, he has such a focus on giving and helping others, and he spends a lot of time trying to reach out to areas in need, groups in need, places where he can make a difference.
New Heights Therapeutic Riding Center is a nonprofit that David discovered a long time ago, and he knew that he wanted to be part of that. And what New Heights does is provides hippotherapy, which is basically physical therapy on horseback for children with disabilities. We also have a veterans program at New Heights as well, so we help wounded veterans that come back from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars as well. And what it does, it provides that person who may have some sort of a challenge in life on a daily basis, when something magical happens when that person gets on that horse.
I began to work very heavily with the ARC of Greater New Orleans and standing up their facilities in St. Bernard Parish. It became very evident after the storm that because of funding issues, that folks with disabilities were coming back to a parish that truly had nothing to offer them. There are folks that I began to talk to about that and about the issue that there's no funding, there's a great need. And David said to me that day, Polly, whatever you need, just ask. But when he said it, he absolutely meant it. When it got to the point where we truly had to have money, he was absolutely willing and has been willing just to step up to the plate and make that happen.
You know, those of us that work for David and know David and are friends with David very well are also friends with Carlos. And what an incredible individual Carlos is. He is always there to help and assist, lend advice as well whenever anybody needs it.
When it comes to giving for charities and supporting and physically making an effort to help people in need, Carlos has been there from the very beginning at his side.
The balance of their two personalities just are incredible. They make for incredible friends.
And very similar to David, it's very interesting, you know, just this genuine, you know, care for others and interest. And when he talks to you, if he asks you a question, he really cares about the answer.
I think David is a visionary. What he's done on the lower couple hundred miles of the Mississippi River is unbelievable.
There's nobody who works harder, endlessly, tirelessly than David Fennelly.
When you sign on as an employee with Turn Services or Associated Terminals, you become part of a family. And that's really David's philosophy, and still to this day, like I said before, it doesn't matter whether that person is brand new on the job one day or has been here 15 years, David's going to take the time to sit down, talk to you, ask you about real life things and things that really matter.
David is very good at creating a culture of kindness, politeness, and respect. He's implemented that throughout the whole organization and the whole team, that is the primary thing we're going to do. And then we'll be stevedores or tugboat operators.
He calls them family. And that's what they are, they're family. They're not employees, they're family.
And let me tell you something, David has enjoyed doing what he does, and so he should, because he deserves every piece of it.
David, you are truly a man for all seasons. We are honored to honor you with the Alexis De Tocqueville Award.
David, congratulations on this award. To say that it is well-deserved is an understatement. I am so proud to be a member of your team. Congratulations.
Congratulations, David Fennelly. I am very proud to be your friend and so happy for this award.
Congratulations, David, from all the Fennelly family. Love you, proud of you. Good job, David.
David, I want to congratulate you on this most prestigious award. Obviously, there's no one more deserving. Your philanthropy is just beyond words, and you'll always be my brother.
I'm proud to call you my friend, and I'm proud to call you part of my family.
I'm excited for you, and I hope the best for you and Carlos in the future, and can't wait to get to know you even more. You're a special person. You deserve this.
I'm very proud of you. Congratulations. And there's nobody more deserving.
I personally believe you're one of the best people on earth for what you do. And I love being your friend. And I'm going to enjoy this evening, and I'm going to enjoy watching you take accolades that are so well deserved. And I think everybody in this room knows that. Love you, man.
Thank you for your friendship over the years. I really can't thank you enough for all you've done.
Congratulations from Alex and I, David Fennelly. You are our favorite young guy ever, and we think the world of you. Congratulations.
See you soon, Martin Short.
Every year I say that can't get better. Wow. David, it comes across very clear from everyone we heard in that video how loved and respected you truly are. Now, David, it's that time. I want you to come up front because there are some people I'd like you to meet. So, David, if you please come and take center stage. I want David to meet the past recipients of the Tocqueville Award who are with us tonight. And I'm going to call their names, and I'd like them to come up front and stand united with David in this award. Ladies and gentlemen, please hold your applause to the end since there are several. Please come Mr. C. Allen Favreau, Mr. John K. Roberts Jr., Miss Florence Shorenstein, Mr. Ed Lang representing the New Orleans Saints, Mr. Robert W. Merrick, Mrs. Kim Sport, Mrs. Carol Wise, and Mr. and Mrs. Gary Ostrowski. Please come up and join again David in the honor of this great award. Again, thank you to our past and, of course, our present Tocqueville Award winner. And David, you're not off the hook. You get to come up here. And I would like to welcome Flo Shorenstein back to the stage. Flo, again, is the chair of our Tocqueville Society. And also, David, would you please join us up here as well?
This is it. This is it. This is it. Thank you so much. David, you know, I've had the extreme pleasure of presenting the Tocqueville Award to many other recipients over the years, all of whom were very, very deserving, who honored us as you do tonight. But I just have to tell you that I believe that no other recipient has ever been more deserving of this award than you are. Truly. Truly. Your philanthropic leadership, your compassionate heart, and your generosity of spirit are truly overwhelming. Please accept the Alexis De Tocqueville Award in recognition of that philanthropic spirit and your commitment to all in this community and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Flo.
Very heavy. Very heavy.
Oh, wow. Let's go over here.
Yeah.
It's very heavy.
Over there so you can take a picture.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Miss Flo.
Thank you for
Oh
all
my
you
goodness.
do and all I know you will do.
You're amazing. Stay with me for a moment. And the recipient is?
You want us to hold?
Yeah, if you could you be so kind, Tom?
I can, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Ms. Flo, to thank you, I don't even know how to begin. You have just been, you're an inspiration to everybody. And so if you have kind words to say about me, I don't have enough to say about you. Thank you so very, very much for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Whew. Well, learned another lesson tonight. I think I'm better at giving than receiving. This was, you could say, difficult in one way, but not in another, because I know it's a tremendous honor. I know a lot about it, but I just have a difficult time with it because this kind of gratitude is something that is difficult for me to receive. Mr. Bob Merrick, to follow in your footsteps, sir, is a task that I'm not sure that I can fulfill. However, I'll promise you one thing. I'll do my very, very best. You are a true and trusted friend. You are a leader of community philanthropy, and I can't thank you enough. To the members of the Tocqueville Society and all of your committees who vote to honor people in this community, I cannot thank you enough. Your legacy survives now and it will for decades. This is truly a great honor, and thank you so very, very much. To the entire staff of the United Way, led by Michael and Nancy, to the United Way Committee, who have to coordinate this honor, we are fully aware of the criteria that must be considered in order to honor a person and to come up with a decision to choose a recipient. And therefore, I cannot thank you enough for this incredible honor. Thank you, United Way staff, Michael, Nancy, and your entire organization. You guys are amazing. Now, to all my friends who documented their kind words on the video, thank you so much. You're all dear friends of mine, and I know that. But it's very hard to sit there and have you articulate, because I'm usually the one that gets to do that. And so it's very humbling, it's very flattering. For a couple of you, paybacks will be hell, but I'll work on that at a different time. But I really can't thank you enough. That was a beautiful tribute. Just hard to watch and hard to listen to, but very heart-filling, and I can't thank you so very, very much. I can't thank you anymore. But you know, standing as a person who is being recognized for such a special award, I believe there's always somebody else that should probably receive a greater accolade. And in my life, it's my partner of more than 20 years, Mr. Carlos Sanchez. Carlos, please stand and be honored. Just in case I get hit by a bus, I am giving away more of your inheritance than you probably would approve of, but that's just the way it is. Protect me from the yellow bus, because I want to give it to the United Way. There are, of course, two people without whom I would never be standing here. My rocks, my idols, and my greatest supporters, my parents. While my father, Mr. Paddy Fennelly, is not here with us this evening in person, he is looking down with us, and I know he is most proud of our family. So, Dad, watch this. There's more to come. You said look after Mom, and we're doing that. Well, speaking of which, there's a lady in this room that is said to resemble the Queen of England, who is as caring and as considerate as Mother Teresa, but as strong as Margaret Thatcher. The most important and favorite lady in my life is my mom, sitting right over there, Mrs. Kay Fennelly. Please stand to be recognized for your loveliness. I can't see you with the lights, Mom, but I hope you're smiling. And stay with me, don't leave, because I'm going to be mentioning you another couple of times this evening. And now, with the greatest gratitude and sincere appreciation, it goes to my friends and my colleagues at Turn Services and Associated Terminals, for without whom I would not be standing here. You have no idea. You have no idea how it feels to be part of a team and a group of people that are second to none. One culture, one philosophy, and I'm so proud to be part of that team. Please give my colleagues a huge round of applause, because this success is because of those people. Round of applause. You know, speaking of Turn Services, we have a slogan there, and it's one good turn. And one good turn always deserves another. But for me, it means that we are a corporate citizen that is fully engaged, ultimately involved, and fully aware of our community and our surroundings. And we are. And I am so honored to be part of that kind of a culture. Speaking of the slogan, one good turn, you know, it reminds me of that feeling, you know that feeling you get inside when you give of yourself to somebody else? Somebody maybe that's less fortunate than you. Maybe that has a talent that's still untapped. Maybe has a disability, or maybe just an inability. That's the kind of person that I like being around the most. People with challenges in their lives teach you so much about your life, who you are. A life that you would never understand unless you had been around them. They are amazing. One of those dear friends is here tonight with me. He's been by my side for a lot of these events. Alex Boudreau, are you down here in this crowd? Can you please stand to be recognized, my little brother? Alex did the video. He and his mom, Polly, were in the video. You remember Alex? Well, I'm so enamored with Alex and his life and his outlook on life. And that's where I'm thinking that some of the greatest teaching and cherished moments come from. Where did all this begin? I'll tell you where it began. It began with the same lady, the same table that I just mentioned, my mom. You know, when we were growing up in Ireland, Mom built a little preschool onto our home. You remember that, guys? My brother Greg is here, and his daughter Jocelyn, my sister Barbara, and my sister Veronica. And we all as a family remember this, and it was just part of our lives. It was actually the most important part of our lives because Mom made it that way. And this was before the teacher-child ratios of education and preschools and kindergarten and all of that stuff. And Mom had probably 30 students that came up the little driveway every day. And some were from up the road, and some were from down the road, and some had disabilities. some had Down syndrome, and some had speech impediments. But none of that ever mattered to Mom. She always dealt with every child in the same way, with kindness, respect, politeness, and total understanding. Values that we were taught as well were responsibility, good work ethic, be who you are. But Mom, I have a small confession to make, because sometimes you have to do that. You know, I get all these accolades of having lived a wonderful life, but I did something back then in County Cork, Blarney, and the Blarney Castle, and where you kiss the Blarney Stone and all of that stuff. And I was hired, do you remember, Mom? I was hired as the little guy that was to exercise the ponies at Blarney Castle Estate. Well, on many afternoons, I broke some of the rules, and I rode my pony down in front of the castle, and I waited for those big motor coaches to arrive, the ones with the tourists. And then I waited to spot the Americans. And how you could spot an American was they had blue hair and plaid pants. That was an American back in 80s. Not today, guys. We're okay. We've come a long way. But that was definitely it at the time. So I'd get my little pony positioned where you came up the winding path, then you crossed over a little bridge, and then I would park right there in the corner on my little white pony and my little velvet hat. And I'd wait for the little American couple to come around the corner and come over the bridge, and for the wife to proclaim, "Golly, Harry, look at the little Irish kid in the Blarney Castle in the background. Get a little photo if you can." No problem. Kid, come over here on your pony, get the photograph of Harry and the wife, and blah, 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 and $1. Man, I was getting American dollars when I was 14. I tell you that story because it's kind of important. I owe all this money back. So for the record, the United Way and my gift, I want that to include all the American dollars so that my conscience is clear and you all get the money back. Now I'm clean again. Just we're not talking about yesterday though, but okay. One day in your life can change somebody's life forever, including your own. You know, one day, and Rick mentioned his son Walker. Walker's the son of Rick and Marianne Haas, and Rick told you in the little video about Walker coming to our farm and walking with Big Bird and taking him back to the paddock. And I don't know, Rick, I think, wasn't he like 7 or 9 or something? Wasn't it 7 or 9? And oh my God, I was just taken away with Walker's interest and his strength and his power and all of the things that he was able to do. And he just forgot about the things that maybe he was not ready to do. Well, what Rick and Marianne did was they allowed Walker to be part of the entire organization. They allowed him the freedom and they encouraged him to be part of the organization, just not a rider. And today, Walker is amazing. Walker is an intricate part of the New Heights Therapy organization, which is a United Way partner, by the way. And Walker has not only become an intricate part of the organization, but an important part of our community. That is the kind of parenting, leadership, nonprofit, United Way partner organizations that allow this to happen. And so we're still best friends, right, Rick and Marianne? Every time I see Walker, every time anybody sees Walker, they just realize he is so cool and he has grown so much. Alex, I mentioned you before, but I'm going to mention you again. Alex and his mother, Polly. oh my God. You know what the kids say these days, this OMG? This is an OMG moment. What a team. Polly and Alex, they are absolutely amazing. I met these guys and this ARC organization, again, a United Way partner. Some of my colleagues at Associated Terminals were volunteering at the ARC, and they said, David, you have got to come over here and see what's going on at ARC in St. Bernard. And I said, okay, I mean, I will. And so I went. And this is a one-person on one-day event. Polly Campbell was leading a charge to rebuild the dismantled ARC of St. Bernard facility after the storm. I went and I couldn't believe the unspoken challenge at hand until I met Polly and her vision for what she wanted to do. I want to rebuild Sterling Hall and the entire ARC facility in St. Bernard. I want the farm to become vibrant again, where our clientele will grow vegetables and flowers, process them, have a facility where they can offer their services and their talent back to the community. And I want our clients to have a facility where they can learn to be an important part of the community. I had to take a deep breath because I looked at the facility and I thought, how on earth are we ever going to be able to fund this program? Well, with the support of many in St. Bernard and many other friends who loved ARC, appreciated what they did, and loved the parish of St. Bernard, we hosted a lunch at the facility and we raised the needed funds, which stretched to the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I look around this room and I see many, many people who made that possible. My friends, the Miro Foundation, are here this evening, intricate part of making that happen. The Torres family in St. Bernard, huge part of the efforts. The Bergeron family and their willingness to support the organization. And the list goes on and on and on. And we raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, rebuilt the facility. It is up and running. It's in St. Bernard, and it's absolutely magnificent and doing great, great work for the people of ARC. So, you know, so many opportunities have come to me through the United Way. I met Mr. Bill O'Dowd that was congratulated and introduced earlier. He was the founder of this Club Connect project for the United Way. And I actually loved the old O'Dowd connection because I said, well, I wonder where this guy's from. So introduced by the United Way, I went and met with Bill O'Dowd, and we had a lovely meeting, and he informed me about this amazing reading initiative that was for kindergarten to third grade students. And the more I listened, the more I learned, and the more I became interested. It just all made sense. Get to the children early in their life. Don't wait till they're later in life when they might be 15 or 16 and you're trying to drag them back onto the tracks. You see, and you heard from Miss Julie Broussard, what a beautiful testimony of how this program is important. Children from kindergarten to the third grade, they learn to read. After the third grade, they have to be able to read in order to continue to learn. So unless we connect that gap at that stage, we could lose that child. And the rest of the stats are very concerning. Because if you're not able to read after the third grade, the chances of you completing your high school education plummet. If they plummet and you don't make it through high school, the chances of you becoming distracted and maybe into actions and beliefs that are less than the right thing for you to do. And that can lead you to terrible places. We all know where that can go. Well, we have approximately 100 elementary schools, or a little more than 100 elementary schools in our vicinity and under our jurisdiction of the United Way here, and they will benefit so much. I ask that you consider joining me, so many others, Mr. Bob Merrick, Alexis, and we had the list of people earlier, in adopting a school and making a difference. You heard Ms. Broussard's testimony that any time of the day you look over and the kids are reading and they're engaged and they will become students that have a greater chance of making it through the high school system. So enter Club Connect. Mr. Bill O'Dowd, give him a round of applause because he's absolutely the founder of the organization. The lesson here is we need to engage. We need to engage more in our communities. We need to find ways to make a difference. There are organizations out here, and there's one that's second to none that can help you do that, and that's the United Way. So contact the United Way, understand what the programs are, understand the giving, and we can do a lot if we can do more together. The bigger the team, the bigger the difference we will make, and so I invite you to join in all of the friends. My moments have enriched my life. Carlos and I think all the time about, you know how you can get something to get in your heart and get in your gut and bring a tear to your eye. You can buy a new car, but you like it for about 22 minutes and then you just drive it, right? Man, when you give and you see, did you see all those little children on the video? Reading and engaged, and those little faces, you couldn't pay, you just can't buy it. It's just not for sale. Join me in continuing to make a difference. My experiences have been incredible, and I know that yours have too. But you know, Mom, this is the last time I'm going to put you on the spot, but you gave me a little saying a long time ago. You wrote it down in a little book. I'm going to have to read it, and I'm just going to tell you why, and it's just because. May you follow the path of life, the one that you were led down. Follow it naturally, without resistance or fear, so that you may become the person that you are meant to be. Not perfect, but good in oneself. But most importantly, whomever that person is, be that person. I hope that I am that person. But for without all of you, and all at the United Way, and all the friends of the United Way, I would be just one person on one day. Thank you all so very much for this incredible honor. I can't thank you enough. Truly, thank you.
Wow, what a night. David, thank you for those inspirational words. We should all try just the littlest bit to capture your spirit. As Michael said earlier, our theme this year is what we need is you. And David, we said that. David, what we need is you. And you responded at a level we never could have hoped. Thank you for that gift. Thank you for your support of the United Way. And bless you for joining us on this journey to make people's lives better. This is the end of our formal program. However, we would invite you to join us in enjoying the rest of the evening. We have more from Stevens Green coming up. Thank you again for coming, and have a great night.